All right, I'm back with another video update on this thing. This is my Hitch floodlight. This is version 1, and if you would have seen in my previous video, you would have known that I was designing a version 2, and wouldn't you know it, version 2 is ready for assembly. So in this video, we're going to assemble version 2 of the Hitch floodlight, and then we're going to go outside and test it and see how it compares to version 1. So in version 1, I used 3 rock lights that I had laying around. They were just spares and they were sitting in a box, so I decided to try and make something that I've been envisioning for a little while. And honestly, it worked really good. It was really durable. It sat outside in the ice, snow. I backed up into a couple snowbanks with it, and it's still fully intact. It's in really good shape, actually. So this is going to go to my dad. I'm going to give him this so that way he can see when we go up north. And for version 2, I'm replacing the rock lights with some of these Baja chase light style LEDs, whatever. So this one's yellow, this one is white, and you can see one side will create a spotlight, and then this is more of like a flood effect. So I think with both of these together, the white should provide plenty of visibility, and the yellow should highlight any little details that need to be seen. And obviously, due to the shape of these, this had to be completely redesigned. So this is what I came up with. It's got to be a 2-part system because obviously I can't bolt these in from the back on this side when this piece goes into it like this. There's no room. So it's a 2-piece design. So these lights will fit into this half of the housing, and this half will enclose them inside, kind of like that. So if you didn't know from the previous video in version 1, I actually 3D printed these with my 3D printer right there. And I completely designed this all by myself and printed it. So let's get started. We'll make sure that everything fits nice and snug, and then we'll throw it on the truck and see what happens. All right, let's get started here. Before anybody asks, yes, I'm on the floor in my basement because right now outside it's freezing and snowing, and I don't care to be working in the garage right now. Okay? All right, good. We're going to start off by taking off this black fascia on these Baja lights because that's what's going to let it slide in to here and sit nice and flush with the face. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Nice and simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and simple. So now we're gonna slap these into there, and then we'll put these 8 bolts into these 8 slots right here. All right, so we'll take the yellow, throw it in here, like so. It's a very tight fit. I designed it with almost no tolerance. I think there's only 0.01 mil difference. All right, that one's in. We'll do the same for the white, like so. Just like so. Beautiful. And just like I said before, we'll throw these screws into the front face of each light. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, Oh yeah, tighten that one up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nice and tight. Beautiful. There you have it. There's our assembled front half. Moving on to the back half is where we have to kind of think a little bit, because we have the plug, the back half, as well as the wire. So this is what has to happen here. We'll take care of the hitch first. Sorry. We'll take care of the hitch plug first. Jam that guy on there like this. So then we have this ready to go into here like this. And then once this is ready to go, we'll tie these together like this. And then we'll slap it all together and it'll be mint. Okay? Sounds like a plan. We're going to start with the plug. Plug. Take you apart. And we'll take you off. Like so. And then I'll just put this in there. Boom. Perfect. So I believe this is center pin is for reverse, which is what we want, obviously. And then pin 7 right here is ground. So we're going to use these two pins with our black and our red. Obviously, okay, positive, negative. And then, yeah. Perfect. So we'll go red in the center because that is our positive hot signal for the reverse. Just like so. And then we'll go to pin 7, which is our ground. If you're wondering why I'm looking at it like this, like an idiot, it's because they're all marked on the casing. So we'll go ground in here, like so. Probably could have done that a little nicer, but I don't really care. It's mine. Okay, I'll do what I want. If you guys want to buy one, I'll make it nice, and I'll use ferrules and waterproof grease, dielectric grease. But it's mine, so I don't really care. Okay, it's mine. I'll do it the way mine wants to be done. Okay? So that's on there. Give that a nice snug down. Give you a nice snug down. Tight, okay? I don't want to hear about it. We're good. Next on the list is this. Now, obviously, the hole on this thing is freaking ginormous. So, like version 1, right here, what I'm going to do is put a bunch of tape around here. So that way, when I tighten the gasket down, no water can get into it. All right? Very good. So I'll just pull over my magic box here. And we're going to get what we need. We need some heat shrink. We need some soldering connectors. And we also need electrical tape, which Magic Box always has. Great deal. All right. Tuck these aside for now. We don't need those yet. So here's what I'm thinking. You can go on here like that. And I'll set this in the depth that's correct. And I'll just use my screwdriver and I'll make a mark where the tape should end. Should be all right. Yeah, so I can see my mark right here. So I'm gonna put up a bunch of tape right there. So that's gonna be the edge. Now this is obviously not the best way to do it. Go figure. But like I said before, first of all, it's mine. I don't care. Second of all, it'll be fine. Okay. Version 1 went through a car wash probably 10 times. It sat outside in the freezing rain. I drove on it for like 2 months through salt, snow. Never had any problems. Even on the inside of the plug, I took it apart after the first car wash. Bone dry. Absolutely bone dry. So I don't want to hear it. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to get covered up like so. And I'll yank this through like that. Yep. Just like so. And perfect. That's what I'm talking about. So we'll set the screw in again. That's not the right size. This one is. Set screw is setting, dialed. And then we'll screw in our strain relief connector, or strain relief screw rather, whatever you want to call it. And look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but inside of there is tape. So it is absolutely sealed up nice, which is mint. So this is finished now. It'll go through the back half like so. And now what we'll do is we'll prepare this to be soldered together with the front half. So for the front half, same deal. And I'm gonna, strip this just a little bit. Not that crazy. Like a professional, huh? And then we'll strip this about a 1/4 inch, and we'll strip this about a 1/4 inch. I'm only stripping these just a little bit because the self-soldering heat shrink that I'm going to use to join these all together, the joint for the solder is really, really small, so it doesn't have to be that crazy. And for these, I think what I'm going to do is cut them nice and short, just so that way I can tuck them in nicely in here with this, and then there's not a whole bunch of rat's nest that can get water in it. So I'll just strip this nice and carefully. I'll do a little more. Yeah, that's better. And I'll strip this one as well. Perfect. No nicks. And that one's got a little bit of a nick. That's okay. I make this one shorter. Like that. Perfect. Okay, great. So now this can get soldered in with these, like this. We'll tape these together so they stay kind of down and out of the way. Like that. Solder, 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 and we're friggin' golden. We'll hop outside after. It's my last piece of heat shrink. God frickin' damn it. Oh well. That's fine. I don't really care. Let's get these all twist tied together here. Get you out of the way. I'll get you guys out of the way. Like any sort of genius could probably figure it out, we're going red, red, black, black. And on the back half, it's also going to go red to red, black to black, obviously. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just heat shrinking the crimps on to this black wire here, like so. So that way I can mess around with the small wires into here, kind of one each, and it won't be such a headache. So let's do that. Put some heat shrink over this for later. Start with this one. And again, pre-twist. Feed that in like so. Feed this one on like so. And I'll do one at a time. Just want to do enough so that the heat shrink is gripping onto the wires. Not enough to shrink this side. Just like so. Perfect. So now the fun part. So let's start with the red. Let's try these out first. Stick this mess inside of here. Push it in. Now I can see here that they are making a good connection. Is it my favorite connection? No. But again, man, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's mine. And I'll do what I want, okay? There's no rules to this when you're making your own stuff, DIY style. The best style, by the way. Let's take you out of the way. So the reason why I'm using a torch is because a heat gun doesn't actually melt the solder the way it should be melting. So this gives me a good controlled ability to melt the solder and kind of work around it the way I need to. Just like so. See it soldering together, making a good connection. I'm not burning anything or lighting it on fire. Just a nice slow burn. We'll let that cool off, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the black side as well. Just solder together for me. That's all I need. Wow, I don't think that could have gone any much better. Just ran out of propane, butane, torch, you know, stuff. Too bad. It's warm. It's not too hot. So we're just going to quickly ship that over like that. Heat shrink. And then we will shrink the heat shrink. Look at that. Fast and efficient. No BS. Great. And just for added waterproofing protection, put a piece of tape where the heat shrink ends, just because I want to. And that's what I did on the other one, and it worked really good. Okay. Perfect. Good enough. So this is all connected together, nice and tight. So I'm going to go ahead and do now, slide this over top, like so. Push this together. And yeah, that's pretty much it. On the 3D print, I did print some holes here. In the future, like on the finalized version, I'm going to be using some burn-in threaded inserts here. So you just stick them on the end of a soldering iron and you burn them in. And then these holes here will just act as pretty much a through-way for a bolt on either side. So that way it'll be locked together super, super tight. And there won't be any, you know, hesitations or anything like that about it coming apart in a car wash on the highway or on the trails. Shouldn't be any problems, any struggles. Okay, great. So this is together as good as I want it for now. So let's go outside and test to see how freaking bright it is. Good deal. All right, so we're outside now. I got the hitch plug installed here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back into this really dark corner over here behind me. I'm gonna set up my tripod, and then what I'll do is I'll drive past and then I'll back in, so that way you can kind of see the whole beam of light coming out of this thing. So hopefully it's dark enough over there and it gets a good perspective of the strength of this thing. I've already used it backing out of my driveway at home, and let me tell you, it's a night and day difference, no pun intended. It's freaking sweet compared to V1. So I'm gonna set up over there and then we'll get to it. As you can see, the difference between V1 and V2 is pretty substantial. I'm actually standing right behind the truck right now, and obviously it's pretty freaking bright. Like, you really can't ask for a much better quality light output than that. Really happy with the yellow and white combo. Kind of puts off a nice detail against the asphalt, some of the snowbanks. Like, even in my rear view camera, I could see my tripod off to the side, and it's definitely not that big. So overall, I'd say this is a pretty good success. Really happy with it, especially for the price. Like, these lights just came from AliExpress. They're fairly inexpensive. So all in all, I would say this is awesome. So what I'll do right now as well is take you inside the truck, and I'll show you what it looks like out of my rear view mirrors with the windows up, the windows down, and what it also looks like through the screen for my backup camera. All right, so we're inside the truck now. As you can see, not too bad. So here's my heads-up display. What I'm gonna do is kick it into reverse, and there you have it. So as you can see, you can kind of see the beams of light coming from both the spot and the flood, but it's pretty clear. The Tacoma backup camera's quality, especially in the second gens, is really bad. And to make matters worse, I have like a 8-inch screen, so the display is pretty grainy, but compared to what it was before, which I'll show you right now, compared to what it was before, there's a huge difference. Honestly, I'm very happy with this. And of course, here's what it looks like outside my windows. I have 5% tint on my front windows. It's pretty hard to see out of them normally, but the fact that I can even see the snowbank right now is amazing. And if I roll my windows down, obviously, like, it's clear as day, which is just awesome. All right, so that's gonna wrap up video 2 of the floodlight build series. Video 1 for version 2. I'm gonna keep updating you guys with, different durability tests, updates as to how the light's holding on, because as you can see, it's still winter time, and there's salt, there's melt, there's sand, and there's a whole bunch of crap on the roads. So it'll be a really good test compared to how it's gonna perform in the summertime when there's really just rain and maybe some mud. So anyhow, stay tuned, like and subscribe, follow for more builds.